getting their feet wet. I mean, we're turning out rookies. We're not really turning out firefighters. That's the bottom line.
We just talked about the how the academy prepares firefighters for search and rescue as well, so we can skip that area. Now we're just going to go down to the HOVRIFT, which showed you here on the wiki. Do you think that a HOVRIFT idea would able to better train firefighters on an overall basis?
Absolutely. I think it's important that we stay on top of technology. The one thing is that unfortunately that we have budget constraints. So if we had an application or a way to get hold of this training, whether it was through grants or whether cost sharing, all those would be options possibly that we could use. But anything that we can use to better train firefighters in the limited amount of time that we have, I think that's a great idea.
Do you think the HOVRIFT would able to better prepare firefighters, veteran firefighters, to keep their edge sharp when they go into a scene with the physical labor and the intense heat?
I think so. Training for the firefighter that's been on the job for a long time, that's always a challenge, trying to come up with something new. If there was a way to tweak the program so that they don't get used to knowing what's there at every corner, so that you could change the scenarios, I think that would be advantageous. I know that in Genesee County, we've had the discussion about whether we wanted to use the flashover simulator that they have, which is actually you're putting firefighters in an extremely hot environment where there is actual fire. Our fallback on that was that we didn't really feel confident that that's what we wanted to expose our firefighters with, or to our rookies, to academy students to at that point. Now if we had something that more of a simulator that was safe, that they would maybe get more of an idea of what the simulation of understanding what flashover and backdraft, what those situations are like in a safe environment, as opposed to exposing them and putting in directly in that environment without a lot of time and knowledge. So I can see that'd be a definite plus in having a tool like that.
You mentioned the flashover trailer. That also comes down with your cost sharing, because it is quite expensive to get into your neighborhood.
Yep.
And you rely on other fire departments.
We do. We have to go together with a number of other fire departments, and we have to come up with a certain number just to break even to get it in there to meet that cost.
Do you think a HOVRIFT would keep a current firefighter's edge in search and rescue operations?
I think it could. Basically, now when we have the students that when they go through the fire academy, as you know, for the most part, they just completely black out their face piece. So they're actually, and it's like when you're doing a search and rescue, the closest we can come to without having them see where they're going and making it easy for them to find a mannequin, is having their shield blocked out so that they're depending completely on their sense of touch and feel, as opposed to taking in hearing, as opposed to being able to see. As you know, that in some situations you can see a little bit when you're doing a search and rescue. So having a tool that maybe would still simulate that environment, but yet maybe you'd be able to see a little bit of what's going on to get your bearings and sight, might be an advantage over the way we do it now when you're absolutely completely in the dark, and you're doing everything just by touch and your sense of hearing and listening to where you're going.
If a product like the Hovrift were available at a decent cost, would this be something that you would be interested in looking at for the academy, or if not, your own fire department?
If it was at a reasonable cost, whether we had to look at, if there's something available, grant money available or something like that, where we could get a tool that could be universally used throughout the county and the other fire departments to make it cost effective. We only have a limited number of academies per year. So you have to kind of measure, I would think, the actual usage that you're going to get out of the tool, looking for other ways to use it when you're not using it at the academy. So it's just not sitting in a closet someplace. If you had a tool like that, you'd want it out, you'd want to be able to use it. Yeah, if there was some creative ways to get it and some creative ways to use it, then I think it'd be great.
All right, I appreciate it and all your answers.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.